Hello, my name is Dr. Brenda Wright, and I'm happy to be doing this class with you. I thank Dr. Williams for asking me to do this with you. I wanted to have an opportunity just to introduce myself, for you to be able to see me, to hear me. Most of what we'll be doing will be online. I would love to be able to be there with you doing this face-to-face. But because it was just so last minute, I wanted to have the opportunity for you to see me and to hear me and just to get to know a little something about me. So I work here at Wilmington University in Newcastle, Delaware. I have worked here for about 26 years now, and I've worked in the clinical mental health counseling program full-time for about 3 years. This particular course that we call Counseling Diverse Populations is a particular passion course for me. And so Dr. Williams asked if I could, just kind of jump in. This is not something extra work for me to do. Like I said, this is a passion for me. It's something, I could kind of teach it in my sleep. That's how long I've done it and how important the course is for me. Just a little something else about me, again, just to help you get to know me a little. I'm married. I have a 33-year-old daughter. I have a precious little 2.5-year-old granddaughter who I just love dearly. I love her so much. I sometimes wonder, did I love my own daughter this much? I'm sure I must have, but it just feels different as a grandmother. I'm a native Delawarean. I have a small private practice. I work in my church right now, but prior to doing counseling in my church, I have had my own private practice for a while. So I've been in the mental health counseling field for over 30 years. It's just been probably within the last 15 years that the professional organization, American Counselors Association, really started putting more emphasis on diversity, diverse populations. Much of the research in the early days was on white clients, white clinicians, and it was recognized that didn't always pertain to other groups, African Americans, Latinos, Asians, and so more and more emphasis and research was placed on how does clinical mental health counseling apply to other groups of people. So when I went to school to get my master's degree, we didn't even have any of this. There was no focus on diverse populations at all. And so now, a part of what you're going to need to know being in the field, and what you're also going to need to know when you take the NCE, the National Counselor exam, are that we have now competencies for working with diverse populations. So I've tried to set up the course around the competencies. So Dr. Williams will go over this with you in class, but there are 3 multicultural competencies. The first one is for the counselor to be aware of his or her own values. What are your own beliefs, your customs, the way you do things. We tend to just kind of go through life and just do things because that's just the way we do them. And we need to realize that is associated with my particular upbringing, whether it's my small family upbringing or the race of my family, the ethnicity if my family has come from another country, the socioeconomics of my family. So the first competency is for the counselor to really know their own beliefs, biases, customs, and things that they value that, like I said, many times they're just invisible to us. However, when they're invisible, then we can project that onto other people and not even realize that we're projecting that onto other people. So that's a critical first first competency. The second competency is after I become more and more aware of my own values, I become aware of the worldviews and values of other people, of other groups of people. So I can't learn everything about every group of people, but I can learn some basic things that are common to Asians, that are common to Latinos, that are common to African Americans and European Americans. And then once I have some general kind of knowledge, I wait until I find out more from my particular client to see if they fit more in that general knowledge, what are some particulars about them and their own family. But we need to know that there are lots of differences between how different groups of people view marriage, raising children, the whole issue of respect, modesty. So in this second competency, where we learn about the worldview and values and beliefs of other people, that's where we can kind of see how they differ from ourselves. And then the third competency is what do we do with this information? How do we help our clients? So I've learned about myself, I've learned about other people. Now, how do I help them in counseling? What are some strategies and interventions that research has shown are helpful with this group of people? When I'm working with Native Americans, that would not be necessarily evidence-based, shown as helpful working with maybe an Italian population. So the third competency are effective intervention strategies. So the way I've set up the course, it's kind of matching what the competencies are. So that first competency where you're getting to know yourself and your own values, some of the exercises you're going to do tonight in class will be around what is your culture, not just surface culture kind of things, but what's kind of underneath the surface and what's deep culture. So the iceberg exercise that you're going to do tonight will help you get more in touch with some of these beliefs that are your own. I also, in the course, you'll be doing some journal entries. The journal entries you will write and they come directly to me. One of the things I don't want you to feel is pressure to be politically correct, say the right thing. Oh my gosh, I can't say that. What are people going to think? No one sees these journal entries except me. This will very likely will be the only opportunity you'll have to be politically incorrect if that's what you feel. What I'm looking for in the journal is for you to be honest with how you feel about whatever it is that you just read or what you just saw. Give me your kind of knee-jerk thought or reaction about that. Some people will say as they're writing some of their journal articles, I can't even believe that I'm saying this myself. I didn't really realize the depth of my reaction to this, or that I looked at things this way. So the journals that you'll be doing is not to get a right or wrong answer. It's for you to understand yourself. It's to increase that kind of self-awareness. And so the grade is not based on that you've, like I said, that you've gotten right answers. The evaluation is how much you've reflected on what we've talked about, or what that particular article or journal was about, how open, how honest you've been. And again, knowing that I'm the only one that will see it, and then I respond to you, may ask you to think about some things, explain some things, or whatever, and then get that back to you. So I do, value the confidentiality. So with the first competency, again, counselor self-awareness, the journal articles, the journal, reflection journal articles that you will do will help with that. Then for the second competency, to know knowledge about pertaining to other groups. Throughout the course, as you look through the semester, every week we'll be focusing on another group of people. Now let me just say also, your textbook, the Baruth and Manning textbook, as well as another textbook that I'll be using and incorporating into the material. It's the McCullough textbook. They focus primarily on racial and ethnic groups. So the primary groups that you'll be discussing and learning about in this course will be European Americans, Native Americans, African Americans, Latino Americans, did I say Asian Americans, and Middle Eastern Americans. So the focus is on, like I said, racial and ethnic. Now they do incorporate into the chapters other types of diversity. There's lots of various types of diversity: social economics, gender, sexual orientation, age. And so through your text, these things will be woven in as they're looking at the different racial and ethnic groups. But the way the course has been structured, again, is to focus on the racial and ethnic groups, and then you can fit in those other areas of diversity when you're looking at those particular ethnic groups. So I wanted to explain how that is laid out. So as each week, as we're looking at a different racial and ethnic group, that will to help you accomplish the second competency, which is gaining knowledge about other worldviews, other values, other belief systems. And so what I want to just kind of go over briefly is are the assignments that you're going to have, and you can certainly ask more questions of Dr. Williams, who's right there in the class, or you can send me message me on Blackboard or send me emails. But you'll have several assignments. So I'm just kind of reading down the list here. So the first assignment is called Current Issues and Counseling Considerations. So as a class, you're going to break up into 6 groups, and each group will have an assigned racial and ethnic group. So there'll be a group that will be assigned to the European American chapter. There another group to the Native American chapter, the African American chapters, Latino American chapters, Asian American, and then the Middle Eastern Americans we're going to have to do a little differently because neither of the textbooks focus on the Middle Eastern Americans. So that group, I'm going to have to be in communication with you to really go over what I want you to do with that. You're going to have to go outside of your textbook. But each group, your first assignment, this current issues and counseling considerations, you'll look into your Baruth and Manning textbook for the chapter that you're going to be of the people group that you're going to be researching, and I just want you to focus on a present day issue that this group is having in America. So what are some pressing issues that Latino Americans are dealing with? What are some current issues that Asian Americans or Native Americans are dealing with? And your Baruth and Manning lays that out. So as counselors, we need to keep up on what are these current issues that various people groups have to deal with as a group of people. They still have their own individual personal issues, but they will have issues that's group focused that they'll also be dealing with. So as you read over this section on the outline of assignments, you'll see laid out what I'm looking for with that. So that's the first thing, the current issues and counseling consideration. So in the outline, I just refer to that as the CICC. Then I've already mentioned that you'll be doing the journal, reflection journal. You'll have 4 journal entries. 3 of them will be worth 10 points, and the 4th one will be worth 20 points for a total of 50 points. And I'll explain each journal as it's due. So that will be on Blackboard, and I'll give you the instructions for what I would like for you to talk about with each of those. Let's go down to the 4th assignment. I'm skipping the 3rd assignment for right now. The 4th assignment is something called reaction papers. So each of the groups in your 6 groups, each night when you're going over Native American, African American, Asian American, all of those, you'll always see a video and or read an article. After you look at that video or read the article, I will then give you a list of questions that I want you as a group to discuss. Get each other's reaction on that, each other's input on that, and then specific things that I'd like for you to answer. So the reaction papers will be group reaction papers. You'll get one person to actually type it up and to upload it onto Blackboard under assignments, but it will reflect the answers of the total group. So on your paper, you need to put all of the names of the individuals in your group, and the answers to each of the questions that I'm asking you for that paper. So that means it'll be a group grade. So you can't just leave all the work to one person for them to do all the answer, all the work and give you the answer, because all of you will get the grade. So you all need to see what this designated typist is going to be, typing out. So you're all in agreement, and then you all will receive the same grade. So those are the reaction papers, and like I said, with each one, I will give you instructions for that particular reaction paper and what I'm looking for with that particular one. So now I'm going to go back to assignment number 3, and that is your group research presentation. That is the end of semester big research project. You've been working all semester long, learning about all of the groups, but your particular group, you've been researching about that particular group all semester. So let's say if you've been researching on Native Americans, I have listed in this in the syllabus the different areas that I'm wanting you to research about your particular group. How they deal with acculturation issues, what is the current educational, economic issues some of Native Americans might be dealing with. You can choose to focus on spirituality or age-related issues that Native Americans are experiencing right now, mental health issues, physical health issues. So you'll see it laid out in here, all of the details of the things that I'm wanting you to research. And you need to begin this now so that by the time you get to the end of the semester, you will have had time all along to start pulling this information together. And I'll be kind of checking in through the semester to see how you're doing, where you are. And these big presentations will be presented to the total class so that the class can have the benefit of all the information that you've found and the research that you've done. You'll have faculty right there in the class to present to them. But I'd like for it also to be recorded so that you can upload it and I can see it as well. In this final research presentation, you'll do a small role play where one person in the group will be the client and another person will be the counselor, and you're going to role play an issue that Native Americans might have and bring into counseling. Or if your group is Latino Americans, what is one of the contemporary issues that a Latino American may have that they would bring into counseling? And then your role play is going to be, what are the effective strategies, counseling strategies to work with that client from that particular group. Sometimes students will do like a two-part role play. They'll role play strategies that don't work, that are very ineffective and very inappropriate for that particular population of people, and then they'll turn around and then do role play techniques, what does work. So you can decide how you want to do that, or we can communicate via email how you'd like to do that. But the role play should be no more than 7 or 8 minutes. Your total presentation, this big research presentation, will be about 40 to 45 minutes. That may seem like a long time, but you're going to have so much information. The problem will be that you don't go over the time. Usually I have to work with folks to pare it down because they just have too much information, and you could easily go on 50, 60 minutes. And so you're going to have to really focus on what is the most important things, divide it up. This person's going to handle the economic issues, this person's going to handle the educational issues, this person's going to do something else. And so you divide it up among your group, who's going to be presenting what. This is not a paper, so you don't have to take the time in writing out a research paper. What I'd like for you is, like I said, a videotape recording of the presentation, and then I'd also like for you to upload your PowerPoint that you develop, that you'll show to your classmates. So I would like your PowerPoint and also a video recording of your presentation to the class. So this assignment really helps to satisfy, when we go back to the competencies, the multicultural competencies. This assignment satisfies competency number 2, where you're learning lots of information, lots to show the knowledge that you have of this particular ethnic and racial group, but also it serves to meet the competency number 3, which is focusing on what strategies does evidence and research show works with this particular group. So this particular project will help to satisfy those competencies 2 and 3. You will have 3 quizzes. I'm not going to give a final exam. To me, the final culmination of the course really will be this group research presentation. So you will have quizzes 3 quizzes throughout the course, and I will have listed for you which chapters and which people groups each quiz will cover. So you'll be aware of that. And so I think that I have gone over pretty quickly just the kind of vision for the course and the overview of the course. Like I said, it is difficult not being there with you, because I would open it up and ask if you had questions, and then be able to answer your question specifically, which might be the same question that someone else has, but not being there, I cannot do that. So if Dr. Williams can't answer it, then we'll be in contact via email. And I'm just hoping for a good course. I know you all were expecting a face-to-face, but in this kind of experiment, so that you would not do without this course this semester, I'm hoping we can try to find a nice happy medium with having a little bit of face-to-face time and doing some online, and will be committed, I'll be committed to making this work the best we can for you. So I thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to our semester together. Okay, bye-bye.